All right, Flor D'Luna by Santana, by request. We got this little melody here. Okay, so that's our first main melody. So we're going to have 7 on the G string, and then we're going to go to 10 and 10 on the second and first string. So we got, hold that a little bit. Then we're going to have 8, and that's 11 to 10 on the second string. So 7, 10, 10, 8, 11, 10. So let me play that again. We got. So if you counted it in, it would be like right after the 1 is where you come in on the and of the 1. So it'd be like 1. So the and of the 1, 1. Okay, so let's try it. 2, 3, 4, 1. And then we're gonna go. So that's 10, 8 in the little one. And then 11, 10, little half step or bend to the 8, 8. First time it might just do 1, 8, but after a while it starts doing 2 8s there, so. And then we're going to jump to the G string, 9, 10, 12. And then we hold that a little bit, and then we go. So that's 10, 9 on the G to 10 on the B. So let's look at all this again. 3, 4, 1. Now let's take our first finger onto that 10. So that's 10, 11, 13, and then 11, 10 to 10 on the small string there. Now our last little phrase here is going to go 8 on the second string. So 8, 10, 11, 10, 8, and then we're going to have a okay, so from this 8, 10, 11 we got, and then we're going to have second string 10, third string 10, 8 here, and that's like a triplet. 1 and then we hit this 10 on the second string. And this is like a triplet too. 10, 8, 10. But he does a cool little trick here with a quick pull off. It's like nice Spanish sounding thing there. So we're going to have 10, quick pull off, 10 here, and that's going to sound like a triplet. So this triplet was 10, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10 with that little extra thing in it. And this is another triplet, 8, and then 9 and 10. And then you can go either to the 12 here, back to the 10, or you could do the same note as the 12 here on this 8. Back to that 10 there, and then we got 6, 7 on the G. Okay, and then we do it all again. So let's go through it all again. We got 3, 4, 1. And then we move that first finger to the 10. And then we had our big ending long riff there. Okay, then our next part is going to start on that 10 on the second string. So 10, 11, 13, and little 10. And then 13, 12. So 13, 12, 10. And then slide the 10 into 12. We're going to have the ring finger on the 10th fret of the second string. So 10, and then 8, 10, 8, and the little one. And then 10 on the second string. Little half step bend up and down to the 8. So this whole new part's like. And then it's going to end with. So you got 9, 10, 12 to the 10 on the second string. Hammer around and back to that 10. And then it's going to start the same, and then you're going to have a. So you got a 15, 13, 12, and then 13, 15, and then slide the 10 into 12, and then 13, 13, 10, and then a little 8, 10 a couple times thing. So let's look at this new part we got. Okay, and then we have a little 8 on the second string, to the 10, 9 on the G, and then the ending. Okay, so let's look at that new part again. We got starting on the 10. And then it starts over with the second half. High part. Sometimes it might be twice on that. A little 8, 10, 9 here. Okay, and then it'll go back to the first part, and then we're going to have this new part later on when it gets into a groovy, like real Latin rhythm. Okay, so this is a great riff. It's 7 on the G string, kind of staccato that one, and then have 10 on the G string to 10 on the B string. 10, 10. And then 10, 9 on the G, so. And then we're gonna go second string, 8, 11. And then 8, 9, 10, and that's the whole riff. Let's try that together nice and slow. 2, 3, and. Okay, and then we get into a part after the solo. That's a long solo section. And the solo scale that you're going to use is this D minor scale. So you can start on this D right here. Those would be good notes to use. Okay, now you could also come up here to the 12th fret and use the 10 and 12, and then 9, 10, 12, and then 10, 11, 12, 10, 12, 13. And at one point, Carlos starts going. So that's kind of a fun riff to try. You got the 13, and then you hit it again and double pull off to the 12 and 10. So we'll do it nice and slow. Here we go. You get a little faster, you got. A little slide into there. So let's do one of those last riffs into this new riff towards the end. So we got a 7, 10, 9, 12, 10, 14, 12, 11, 10, 10, 9, 12, 10. Okay, and then you're back to. Okay, then our next part was. Then we had that little Latin funky thing. then. So at the end of the song, we're going to have a repeat of this particular riff 3 times. It's the one that goes. So 3 times of this. Okay, and then it kind of solos a little bit more, but that's all your basic stuff. One more time, let's look at that little funky thing. That's a lot of fun to play, so let's try that. 2, 3, 4. A little slower, you say? All right, 2, 3, and. All right, Flor D'Luna by request, Santana. Hope y'all dug that. That'll have a tab with all these melodies in it. I'm also going to have a lesson of all the chords and the rhythm, strumming and everything for this whole song. It has tons of great jazz chords. So stay tuned for that. We'll see you soon.